All right, everybody. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Welcome back to another episode of Kinfolk and Them with my kinfolk Ish, Greg, now Pro, and Brett. And of course, your boy X Williams in the mix. And unfortunately, we have not been able to come to you guys live on our normal days on Wednesday. Pause. Yes, pause, Greg. Thank you. On our normal days on Wednesdays at 9:30. But we're back, and we, of course, will be back next Wednesday as well. And since we've been on a couple-week hiatus, let's check in with everybody. How you guys been doing?
I'm alive.
I am alive and living.
I am breathing.
I am here.
So we good.
Greg, you want to let everybody know where you're located at this moment?
No,
man, you just gonna give this man a location out like that?
No,
my goodness.
I'm just saying you're not in your normal location at the moment. That's all I'm saying. That's
no, the fuck I do not.
He's trying to get your apartment lit. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
You're in your safe house. So where's that at again?
where was that? Did you want to post your address?
Yes, and yes, Jasmine. Brett is a Sigma. Yes. He unfortunately is. He likes that.
Never mind.
That boy can't stroll like nothing though.
No, I'm just saying you can't stroll like nothing. That's all. That's all we're saying.
You can't stroll.
You can't do nothing on them. We can't do nothing on that stroll though. That's all.
My knees better than all y'all while y'all playing.
You ain't got none.
Finger roll no more.
You ain't got nothing, boy.
Y'all can go somewhere.
Okay. We gonna see one of these days. We'll see. We'll see.
Nothing else to see.
Shout out to our boy Chad Bowles checking out the broadcast. What up, fellow African Americans? What up, fellow African American?
I'm African.
It's always so extra. Shout out to Chad though.
Well, Ish is actually African American, correct?
I'm African.
Already. That should be a new that seriously should be a box. An American, African American.
Real ass African. That's what it's just.
Real ass African. Yes, sir. All right, but for real though, let's go ahead and get into these topics for tonight. First thing first, Ashanti versus Keyshia Cole. This is the newest matchup with this Verzuz series. Of course, we all remember the last Verzuz, Jeezy versus Gucci Mane, and with that starting off season 2 of Verzuz, everybody was saying whoever is going to come behind Jeezy and Gucci is going to have to follow up some big footsteps. And for it to be Ashanti versus Keyshia Cole, it's not a bad matchup, but not the matchup that has the most hits, but I'll say it's one of the female hood favorites. I mean, they don't have compared to okay, you tell me compared to Jeezy and Gucci, you telling me they gonna have 20 bangers?
That's not what I'm shaking my head to. You about to say hood? This ain't got shit to do with no hood.
I know.
Keyshia Cole. Keyshia Cole.
One person, nigga.
Ashanti, like this. Ashanti is the suburb hood chick that you like. That's what I'm saying.
Just a suburb hood chick.
Where
did you come up with?
Yeah, everybody know about the suburb hood chick.
Was this in the Tuesday meeting?
No, we don't.
No, it was not.
No,
not in this
See, exactly. Chad know what I'm talking about. Female hood favorites. Everybody know what I'm talking about. This is one of those.
Chad is laughing at you because Chad is also confused at what.
No, he's laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about, and he understands.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
All right.
Nobody. Please let us know who agrees with this man.
Thank you, Chad. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Chad.
All right.
Nah, she was fake being hood though. The fuck?
The point is, she was suburb hood. Thank you very much.
What? She was suburb.
What is that?
What Nunu was? She was suburb hood. What do you?
No, she was not. Nigga, the fuck?
Why are you mad at me because the movie was what the movie was?
No,
don't be mad at T.I. Don't be mad at me.
We're mad at you for your comparison with trash.
Look. The point is what I'm getting. The point is what I'm getting at is, can we name couple of songs from Ashanti and Keyshia Cole, so we can, actually get a nice little grab on his verses, because I think it's going to be entertaining for the first couple rounds. After that, I think we'll get a little tad bit bored, but
Foolish from Ashanti, Baby, the way that I love you.
Is Ja Rule going to make an appearance?
He's one mesmerized with Ja Rule. What's Love with Southside with Lloyd.
I don't want to see Ja Rule. I'm gonna be honest.
Always on time with Ja Rule.
I don't want to see Ja Rule. I don't want to see Ja Rule.
She was stirring
Milk and butter on the stove. Ooh. She was, though.
She was. All those songs you just named, I can't.
That was all Ashanti.
Top of my head.
Now, what about Keyshia Cole?
I Should Have Cheated. Keyshia Cole, Love. I Remember. Play Cards Right with Tupac. I Changed My Mind. Kanye. Last Night with Diddy. Give It Up to Me with Sean Paul.
Okay.
Trust with Monica. Boyfriend, girlfriend with.
Exactly. I agree, Mateo. Love. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That's one of the hood favorites right there.
Love you, boy. Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt. Hey, that is definitely a hood favorite, and Keyshia Cole will have the hood out here singing. I don't know if y'all seen on Verzuz, they put up a clip of 21 Savage out here singing the Keyshia Cole, and that's what it's gonna be. You're gonna have some grown men out here singing along to all these songs and whatnot, and not feeling any type of way about it, because hey, some of these songs, they hit the soul, they really do. But I just don't see this really living up to the even the female side. It's probably, I ain't gonna lie, this probably gonna be maybe one of the lower end ones, because again we've had a Gladys Knight, Patti LaBelle, and Brandy and Monica. We've had some pretty good females verses at the moment. So for this one, it's gonna be good. Just I don't know.
So are y'all gonna watch this or not?
No.
Of course, I'm gonna watch it. Damn, that's how you feel.
No. I'm gonna be.
I told you, I'm gonna watch the first 2 or 3 rounds. After that, I'm gonna leave.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a shit about.
You're not really gonna watch it.
I don't give a shit about Keyshia Cole's music. Honestly,
thank you, Greg.
Really
thank you.
Really
Thank you for your pure honesty.
Who do y'all have winning?
Ashanti,
to be honest, I don't care.
I don't give a shit about Keyshia Cole's music.
I couldn't tell you, bro. I don't know
know
enough about their catalog to really say either about either one of them, to be honest. And I'm not pressed to watch it. I don't think it'll do the numbers. However, I think it's a classic matchup. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a matchup for me.
I think Keyshia Cole's, I guess.
I'm gonna watch it.
To me, it's like the Lions and the Bears playing. Like, I really don't care who
Oh
wins.
Lord,
it's a toss up.
it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
That's a great way.
I don't know, but I would at least watch the Lions and the Bears. So
I might tune in. I'll probably tune in, peep the vibes.
I would at least watch it. If it was the only game on, if it was a Sunday night game or Monday night.
No funny shit. I'll tune in to see Ashanti play Rain on Me. That's probably about it. Honestly. But other than that, when Keyshia Cole come on, I'm turning that shit off. I don't want to hear that shit.
Wow.
I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
Why are you so biased for Keyshia Cole?
Tell us how you really feel, Greg.
Well, okay, Greg.
What's up?
Why are you so biased towards Ashanti, like in terms of not liking Keyshia Cole at all?
Because Greg is suburb.
I'm team OT Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, he definitely suburb hood.
So, if Keyshia Cole don't fuck with OT Genesis, I don't fuck with her either, nigga. Fuck out of here.
Who?
What the fuck? What did that? What can you run that back, and what happened?
Remember they had the beef because OT Genesis took her song and started singing.
Oh,
remember that? Yeah. She was hot because that nigga took her song, and that nigga made a better song.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was hilarious. From OT, shout out to OT Genesis on that.
I've seen OT Genesis.
I have no idea who that is.
First of all, yes, you do. You're not about to mess up the hood card right now, Brad. You know who OT Genesis is. Push it.
Hood card.
The hood card that Brad from. You know Summerall. You know Summerall.
Who with the money?
He close to Summerall, so he from the hood, you know.
Oh, that's the song. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Push
Okay.
it, push
Alright.
it. Yeah, you know about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My bad. I didn't know that.
Anyways,
Y'all say man, 'cause-
yeah. We know you on your NF. You know you on your. We know who you listen to. You on your NF. Shout out.
I've been listening to a lot of Toby too, though. Toby. Hey.
Toby be hitting.
I mean, you know the greatest from A-Leaf, so you know we be hitting. You know, shout out to A-Leaf. Shout out to A-Leaf. That's what we do. A-Leaf out here producing productive people.
Shout out to A-Leaf.
You know,
You're from Cyprus.
No, we should.
don't be disrespectful. You're from Cyprus, sir. Brett Reese from Cyprus, sir. Be correct. Alrighty then. Anyways,
Cyprus.
People that's not from Cyprus. No, you were from Cyprus, Texas, sir.
I am from Africa.
All right. We're gonna go right back to the topics now. All right. Anyways, people that are not from Africa that did make a trip to Africa though, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle at this moment in time would like for us as a whole to boycott him in a positive way. Usually, of course, boycotts mean, I don't want to say mean, but usually majority of the times you want to you want to disturb somebody's money flow, of course, for your gain. But for Dave Chappelle's, he wants to make sure that the people that have his catalog don't have any financial gain off of that. So he wants to make sure that people that watch his show do not watch it in favor of him, of course. So with that being said, will everybody boycott Dave Chappelle?
Yeah,
Well,
it's looking like that.
boycotting the networks and not watching Dave Chappelle, sure. But like for me, I'm not pressed because I got the complete series on DVD. I've been had the complete series on DVD since like 2010. So I ain't
Yes, sir.
y'all buster ass niggas can boycott Dave Chappelle if you want. I'm about to laugh my ass off at the crib.
Time out. I'm not gonna let you slide. When the last time you heard niggas say DVD, bro?
That's what I just asked. Who still has
Hey,
I couldn't let that slide. I ain't gonna hold you.
Y'all gonna stop disrespecting people that talk about DVDs. I was just talking about DVDs recently too. Okay.
My DVDs, bro. I'm keeping my DVDs.
Bro, you sound like my uncle talking about an
listen,
8-track.
That's why y'all niggas is gonna be not watching Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna be over here laughing my ass off.
I already watched it before it came off Netflix.
Yeah, that shit was Comedy Central like 1 a.m, bro.
So
Well,
you,
yeah,
so you
obviously,
gave, so you gave the people money that he doesn't want to have the money.
This nigga said
Whoever sold this
DVD.
shit in 2009 at Walmart, they got my money.
This nigga said DVD. What the fuck? Old ass.
And I got a free voodoo trial off there.
DVD son. Nigga wild.
Hey, decent that shit, cuz. We fold the DVDs.
Hey, no funny shit. Do you play the DVD on like the PlayStation? Or you play on
Jasmine asked, "What are you playing these DVDs on?"
That's exactly what I play my shit on.
I thought he had a DVD player. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I
Hell
thought.
nah.
You played on the game console. Okay.
He got one of them portable DVD players, the little small ones.
Boy, you stupid as hell. He put the hose in the headrest. Put that hole in the headrest. He be traveling with that motherfucker.
This nigga went 2008 on us and shit. God damn, bro. Nigga
That was some good years. I had the 12s in the trunk.
But
That was
yeah,
some good years.
boy,
Had the
like,
that was prime Gucci right there too.
yeah, we was
Tax.
knocking down block for show in the motherfucking Honda green. You feel me?
Nah, but real question: are y'all boycotting Dave Chappelle?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
of
not
course,
They're not getting it. Yeah, no.
of course.
Well,
So
Napoleon, you're kind of discounted because they already got your money.
Well, Greg, yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Napoleon talking about what Napoleon saying is, it don't matter to me if you boycott or not, because at the end of the day, I've already had the series, and at the end of the day, I can rewatch it anytime I want to. I don't need it.
Yeah,
I don't need to watch it.
Money.
I mean, I guess if you want to look at it that way.
What other way?
But Dave Chappelle was talking about Netflix and was talking about HBO streaming. He wasn't talking about the people that have already sold his DVDs that, like Comedy Central and whatnot. That's already too late.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's. Yeah, that's what Dave Chappelle talking about. Dave Chappelle talking about don't watch it on the streaming channels that are streaming it at this moment.
It's streaming on Hulu. They
Greg,
Netflix
are you,
completely took it off.
Are you boycotting Dave Chappelle, Greg?
I mean, by default. I mean, as far as Netflix, yeah. I'm still gonna watch it on Comedy Central. This comes on Comedy Central at 1 in the morning. Like no funny shit. So.
Mm-hmm. And hell, if it's coming on Comedy Central, I could buy Comedy Central DVD in 2009.
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't watched Dave Chappelle in so long.
You good?
Does bootlegging it count? Yes, it does. As in, you can watch it. I mean, that's cool. Like that's cool. Like you good? Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a 2008 ass nigga and watch that shit on the game console on your DVD.
Oh, okay.
Like, what's wrong on the game console though?
Nothing, Brett.
Nothing. Just 12
I
years
expect the same from you.
behind, nigga. That's all.
Listen, if I want to sit and watch a
You was
collection,
2008 ass nigga, Brett.
you can still play. You got DVD features. You got DVD games. You don't have that on downloads.
DVD features. DVD games.
This
What
nigga
are
that DVD
What are DVD features?
You
This
don't remember
nigga-
DVD features and shit? Look, I tell you right,
Yeah.
go
Hey,
get DVD.
TLC made no scrubs for niggas like Napoleon, bro. I swear to God.
I got a whip though, so I,
TLC made no scrubs for
I,
niggas
got,
like
I had
Napoleon.
I had a whip. I was like the marrow. I ain't tripping, so shit.
That shit
I was-
ages
I was-
so well because of fuck.
It doesn't actually.
It does.
have
It
your own
ages well
vehicle.
for niggas like you.
Now, if I try to
niggas
act
on the
back,
passenger
when
side.
you said DVD features and DVD games, I can't.
I never heard no DVD game.
I know y'all.
I've never heard of DVD
I
game.
know y'all seen the DVD game on one of these DVDs. And
No,
so
I have not.
They
No,
had an
bro.
interact. They had an interact.
No.
Come on, man.
I've never
All
seen that.
Y'all wildin', bro.
I think I know what Napoleon talking about, but we gon' not agree with you because you
Block
just
puncher. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there.
What?
This nigga's so dumb, bro. What? Every episode, bro.
alrighty then. So to wrap everything up, what's up, Nap?
Boycott Chappelle.
Boycott Chappelle.
Yes.
Boycott Chappelle.
To wrap.
Brett, you never said if you were boycotting Chappelle.
I mean, I'm with you though. Like, I haven't watched anything like Dave Chappelle outside of like on Facebook.
And the
Maybe
DVD,
they-
right?
No, I don't have the DVDs.
Can I just be honest with the group, though?
Of course, you can be honest with us, Ish. That's what
All right,
we're
let me be
here for.
honest with y'all. Is there anything from your childhood that you like watched or you thought was really funny, and then now you look back at it
And that
you
shit
feel,
not
like,
funny?
Guilty? Not even that it's not funny. You just kind of feel guilty for like thinking that was funny or something.
George fucking Lopez. That nigga corny as shit.
I don't think he mean it like that. I think he mean more like damn, I don't think I should have been laughing at that. Or you feel like that, like more like South Park shit.
Show.
Yeah,
That shit
like-
corny.
Like
Jordan Lopez ain't that bad, goddamn bad. Jordan Lopez funny as
with,
fuck.
with
that
Dave
nigga's
Chappelle,
That
like
nigga's
just
trash. That nigga
listening
ain't
to
that
what
bad.
Dave Chappelle said when he came back and talking about like some of the skits that he did,
Yeah.
and, like knowing where some of those skits came from or who wrote those skits. Like now I look at that show and I just kind of feel bad like watching it. That's why I haven't watched it for years. And
Really?
even when the clips are on Facebook, I don't really pay attention to them.
Do you want to give us an example? Because I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
So like the one that he said in the interview, I think was the one where it was like an angel and a devil was on the shoulder, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
was basically talking to him, and he was talking about trying to make him do some crazy dumb stuff, right? And he was talking about how like he did it, and he saw people laughing, and I think it was about like fried chicken or something. And he saw people laughing, and he saw in particular this white dude laughing at it, and he just kind of felt like to himself, like, man, this has gone too far. Like he didn't feel comfortable with it and everything. And just listening to him talk about that and talk about like how some of the writers were writing things and how, certain people were laughing at or quoting at it. I mean, think about even from us, think about some of the people we went to school with that, will laugh about like the Clayton Bigsby thing and stuff.
Of course,
like that,
of
right?
course. Yeah.
when you really think about some of those things, that stuff's not funny. Like Clayton Bigsby, it's funny, right?
It's
like,
funny, but when you really think about it, I ain't gonna lie, I thought about that. I've thought about that recently too. Yes.
So it's like, when you look back at it now, knowing what we know now, and knowing what some of the people are going through and what the culture is going through, how some of the shifts we're making in the culture, where we're like trying to help some of these people, we're trying to bring some more attention to some of these situations. When you look at some of those skits, bruh, some of those skits are really damaging to the culture, just from the standpoint of it makes you laugh at these situations that are like real situations that people in the culture are going through on a daily basis. And that's where, for me, like, I just kind of stopped watching the Chappelle Show, because I felt like, man, Dave, when he left for Africa and everybody was like, oh, what happened to Dave Chappelle? Like, he legit was going through some things, because he was going through this. Like, he was looking at what he was doing, and he was like, yo, I'm actually hurting the culture more than I am helping, even though I'm putting out this stuff that's really funny and everybody thinks it's funny. Like, dude, no joke, I think a lot of the skits are funny on a surface level, but when you really start like digging into it, it's almost like being irresponsible, right? Like, telling your parents, or if you're a parent and you're telling your kids like, don't do this, right? And then you go and do it. It's almost like we're trying to shine light on certain problems within the community, and then we go watch Dave Chappelle and we laugh at these problems and stuff. Like, it makes me feel just dirty watching the show. Like, no joke, it just kind of makes me feel dirty watching it.
But I think it's also the understanding that we know and we understand where this comedy is coming from. So why should I feel bad about it at all? I feel bad that they have a production team that probably has some type of foul intent behind the reason why they're laughing at certain content or writing certain content, things of that sort. And that I can absolutely understand, because there are a few skits, like, I can watch Dave Chappelle through and through, but there's some skits that I don't really care for, that I don't really like. And again, to go back to the very first sketch that he did, the Clayton Bigsby, fucking hilarious. Like, I can't think of a better way to open up a series. But if you go in depth, like, that's a serious issue.
Because we actually know some motherfuckers that are some Clayton Bigsby folks.
Right, on various different levels. And so, and then like you were saying with the Angels, I thought that was one of the funniest things that he did, was we had each ethnicity, and he was doing different things, and he had the one slide down on the rice or whatever he was doing. It was hilarious. But at the end of the day, I guess it kind of does impact us, but we have the responsibility as the consumers, as the watchers, to take that and to know and to disseminate that information too, because it's not all on Dave Chappelle, because he did write a lot of it, but again, he has writers, he has a production team, directors, and then you got people watching it who are going to take it however they're going to take it.
I think that's why he said. I think that's part of why he says, like, boycott the show, because not only from the monetary standpoint, but you also got to think about it from this standpoint. Like, I get what you're saying as far as, like, we understand where that comedy is coming from because we understand the situations. So for us taking it in, like, it's funny to us because we know where it's coming from. But you also got to understand, like, we're not the only consumers, right? Like, there are other people in America that are consuming this content that they don't know the origin of that comedy, and they take it as like representation of what the community stands for or what's going on in the community. And it's like, that is really irresponsible for us to be peddling this content out here that, if anything, is only helping to enforce these negative stereotypes about the community. Does that make sense? Like, that's
I agree. I agree.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think the saying is a really old saying that goes as, rather laugh than cry. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
I'm not trying to make this a black people thing, but we definitely laugh at our pain instead of actually dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So that goes back to what you're saying. This stuff is very realistic, and it's very, like, in tune with today, that what's going on. But at the same time, we'd rather laugh at it because we're not going to really try to deal with it head on. We usually don't in most situations. So rather laugh than cry. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
So question: Would you guys feel the same about the Boondocks?
Ooh, see, that's another one for me. That's like
The Boondocks is making a comeback. Am I right?
And see,
it
I
is
Trying
partially,
to,
I
trying to at least.
partially think that these things are kind of good for the culture because, yeah, that's the thing. Like we know we laugh and we about these things, but we know we need. It's weird because we know what needs to be fixed, right? So if we're gonna say that we understand and have this understanding and watch this material, we should still be able to do that while finding these problems and addressing these problems and understanding, this is this and this is where we're at and this is how we need to handle it. And if you don't have that understanding, then you need to step back. You know what I mean? I think and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of material out there that does kind of shine a negative light on the black community and the black culture. But at the end of the day, we did not stereotype ourselves. You know what I mean? So,
let me ask you.
Honestly, my fault, Ishmael. I really want to cut you. I really want to say this about
Yeah, go
this.
ahead.
Going back to your point, y'all saying this about Dave Chappelle, then obviously Brett asked the question about the Boondocks. I feel that way about slave movies. I do not ever want to see another.
What's the point of slave movie? What is the
ever
point?
in my fucking life?
Educational
bro.
and shit.
I never want to see another slave movie, bro. I feel that way. The same way Ishmael feels about Dave Chappelle and the question that Brett brought up, that's how I feel about slave movies more than anything. I'm tired of watching that shit.
So let me ask real quick to follow up on Brett's question. So Napoleon, if like some random dude that's not part of the culture that knows nothing about the background of the Boondocks, right? In high school we used to be in the cafeteria, do the homie. Okay. If that person just jumps in and starts doing that, or jumps in and starts doing the booty butt cheeks. Oh like,
Lord!
Are you just gonna be sitting there? Like, does that not make you feel a little like?
I mean,
like it don't make you kind of look at the situation like.
But I also can't.
Or the R. Kelly one. What about
even
that?
If they don't know about the R. Kelly background,
I wanna piss on you.
Enjoy
R. Kelly one aged so well.
The comedy of the the artistry that they're seeing, and then we can educate. You feel me? But I do get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, again, there are certain skits on Chappelle's show that if I'm watching it with the white homies, I'm gonna be like, "You laughing?"
Like, nah, bro, stop laughing.
You laughing? I didn't think so. Okay.
All right, I got a question. Speaking of R. Kelly, since we all brought that up or whatnot, if you watch Dave Chappelle, you'll see the "Piss on You" skit, of course, in R. Kelly, and that was back in mid 2000s, and of course the situation that R. Kelly's dealing with right now. Is that something that not just Dave Chappelle, but other people have brought up to the forefront, but nobody really took it seriously, or nobody cared, or what happened with that? Because I think that was something that we talked about in the open, but nobody took seriously.
The justice system didn't care. That's why nobody else didn't care.
I think he was surrounded by a bunch of people that knew exactly what was going on, probably enabling him to do whatever it is that he's doing, just like it is going on right now in Hollywood, and it is what it is. He got caught.
The justice system didn't give a shit about it, so nobody else did.
I definitely agree with what Jazz said in that comment. That's basically what it comes down to. We can talk about ourselves, but you can't.
I do think though that, like, with the Boondocks, I feel like there were more like answers and revelations though than with Dave Chappelle. I feel like with Dave Chappelle, it was more like, hey, this is what's going on and it's funny, haha, laugh, but like nothing came out of it. Like in the Boondocks, like you always had
lessons learned,
or like probably like in the background, like talking and almost making sense in the background.
Big moments, that's real life shit.
Yeah, like, but even with something like that, like at least there was context behind it, and so there was a little bit more of like a knowledge or like informational about these types of things. Or like my favorite episode almost is when they were talking about the itis, right? And like they gave context to the itis. And
how fitting for you, Brett.
I know, because Brett definitely suffered from the itis
since 15 years old.
All the time. Yes, but I feel like even like something like that, like they always gave context to it, and like there was some type of informational, whether we're talking about ourselves and making jokes about ourselves, you know, as Jazz said, but like there was always something that came out of it. I feel like out rather than the Chappelle show when it was all just like funny and just making jokes, and there was nothing ever that came out of that.
Just pure comedy.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I asked about the Boondocks, because I feel like the Boondocks was a little bit, just like a tad bit different.
I can see that.
Anybody want to wrap it up right quick before we move on to the next topic?
I'm so gracious of you to ask.
You said one more time, Brett?
I said so gracious of you to ask.
Anyways, alrighty then, we're gonna move on to True Kitchen Cocktails.
Y'all so mean to Brett.
Nobody being mean to Brett. Anyways, True Kitchen Cocktails. If you haven't heard for the last couple of weeks, they are making social media news because of the owner went on a quote-unquote rant about the women in the restaurant at the time twerking to the music that was playing, and not just twerking, but mainly twerking on his furniture, on the windows, and pretty much causing too much of a ruckus, pretty much, for him and his establishment, because he came out. And I wish we had the clip. In the future, we will have clips. We would make sure we will have the sound bites and whatnot. But at the moment, we do not. But pretty much what he stated was, we do not do that here at this establishment. I put too much money in this bar and in this restaurant for y'all to come in here and mess this up. I've done this for the culture, and if you want to do that, you can take that to other clubs and bars. But we're not going to do that here. So with that being said, Greg, let's go ahead and start it off with you. Was he in the right of what he did, or should he have approached it in a different manner?
I definitely think he should have approached it in a different manner. I understand the message and I understand what he's trying to do with his restaurant, but in stuff like that, bro, I think you should just kick them out, right? I think kicking them out would have done a better job than doing this. Because you kind of gone viral, and I'm pretty sure he didn't want to go viral in the first place when he did that. He wasn't thinking about people pulling out their cameras and doing that type of shit. So I think in that moment, I think you should have kicked them out if you felt that strongly about it and make an example that way. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a terrible situation when you try to control people in that type of light, right? A twerking type of song comes on. People are gonna want to get up and shake their ass. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop women wanting to shake their ass. It just is what it is. You cannot do that. You cannot do that nowadays. So that's why he's getting a lot of backlash. That's why this is a topic of conversation. But for me personally, I would have just kicked them out. I wouldn't have did that in front of other people. I don't like doing that in front of other people. If I got a problem with you, I'm gonna pull you over to the side. So he should have kicked them out and then told them like, "Hey, you can't do that here," in a private manner instead of a bunch of other people. I don't like doing that shit.
So you said more in a professional type of way.
Yeah, if he's trying to have a professional environment, and kick them out, then have a conversation with them after you kick them out. I know it's gonna be hard to do. It's gonna be better than doing this shit. So that's just my opinion on it.
Well, see, you might not even have to kick them out. You can just pull them to the side, have a conversation with them. I understand y'all are enjoying the music, but I would really prefer that y'all did not dance on my furniture on my table. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. DJ, turn down a notch on the damn ones and twos. Like, we don't need to be going too all out and getting people all too hyped and shit. Because, you know, music will turn a motherfucker out real quick. Real quick, you feel me?
Anybody else?
I mean...
And then as far as the comment that he made with, you know, doing this for the culture and this, that, and the third, that was probably just better left unsaid. He just should have addressed the situation as is, left the culture out of it, pretty much.
I think we briefly talked about this in in the other meeting.
Well, James Hurd the third, he
Oh,
says,
my
I'm
God.
kicking him out like Pam, that's my spot.
Goddamn James Hurd, bro.
There's nothing wrong with
James Hurd the third.
James Hurd the third, he said, I'm kicking him out. But look,
Damn.
hey, I'm gonna say this again. There's a time. I feel like it's time and place. I don't have no problems with women shaking their ass in front of me while I eat if we at a strip club, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the time and place. But if I'm at a fine dining, because from what I heard, that's a $50 a plate spot. So if I'm eating somewhere where I'm paying $50 to eat there for a plate, I don't want women's asses shaking in my faces. That they smell and whatnot, but I know it wasn't that much. I'm just being dramatic. But look, this is what I'm saying. Look, I know. But this is what I'm saying. No, seriously though.
Ass is being thrown around.
Look. Seriously though. From the video that we all saw, they weren't acting too crazy. They were just on the furniture. And the owner didn't like it too much. So just like he was stated, how would you like it if it was your restaurant and somebody had their feet on your furniture that you pay for? I wouldn't like it as well. He probably could have went about it a different way. But at the end of the day, I will say this. It's helping his business out because at the moment we talking about it and everybody else around the world is talking about it. So it's helped his business.
Publicity is bad publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity. So at the moment right now, he's definitely capitalizing on the good and the bad from the backlash that's going on for right now.
Yeah.
Besides the reach, you made a great point.
Fuck you, Greg.
Just saying.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, he's the owner of the restaurant, so he can stay and do as he pleases. So,
it's his motherfucking spot.
I think if he had just kicked him out and he hadn't gone on his whole rant about the culture and whatnot, we wouldn't be talking about it. But I think it's the rant about the culture and everything that caused it to become such a big thing.
Well, I think that just gave. At this point, at any time, if somebody's yelling at somebody's gonna pull out their phone.
Well, yeah, but like I said, if he had just kicked him out, I mean, people would have pulled out their phone if he was kicking them out. But
it just all depends on the scene because he could have said, "Hey, you guys need to go," and they walked out, and it wouldn't.
I mean, we would have watched it, but it wouldn't have been what it is now. Like everybody talking about it because of the rant that he went on. So
that's why I brought up the point about kicking him out and pulling him over to the side. I think that's the best way to do it.
Let's be honest, they wouldn't have just left. You wouldn't go.
They would have caused a scene too.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have went viral though.
Bullshit.
No, it would not.
Why we don't know that though?
No, it would not. It wouldn't have been as big as this, bro.
You might be right on that though. I will say that.
The reason why let's talk about it. The reason why this really went viral is because of the culture thing, right? And when you talk about the culture, that is a very, very subjective ass conversation to have. Because everybody's definition of the culture is different. Totally different. And it's a melting pot type of conversation. And who the fuck wants to? And I got to talk about it all the time. Blurred line conversation. That's the biggest blurred line conversation there is, especially with black people. The culture. Do it for the culture. Oh, I want to do this for the culture. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's when you got to go more in details about what you're talking about. So that's why they went viral. Because during his rant, he's talking about, oh, the culture this, the culture that. Like, the fuck are you talking about? And that's where you get all these different points and stuff like that. So
Jasmine says it would have went viral, but the girls would have been in the wrong, not the owner. His rant is what shot him in the foot. So I guess we can all agree on Jasmine what she said on that part.
Yeah.
Yep.
All that extra shit, leave it at the door, Kimfolk.
Leave it at the door.
Do you think it was more so because of like not necessarily the rant, but like just because he was yelling?
I mean, that's what a rant is, right?
Not really.
Yes.
Not really.
What I'm saying is if he would just been talking to him,
yeah, I feel you.
Instead of yelling,
of course.
Even if it was he still had the same message. Do you think if he was talking instead of yelling, it would have been the same?
No, bro.
Could have talked on a microphone, I think, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, because if you have a DJ, you probably have a microphone.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have got recorded.
I mean, it might have. Who knows?
Who knows? We're dealing with if ands
And
that's
the
the
butts.
thing. I don't know who it was. I think Brett, right? When they said about they would have pulled out their phone anyways, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
I think so.
So it's a good point. So that's what I'm going back to my point as well. It would have got recorded anyway, but it wouldn't have been as big as it is now because the dude went on a rant. Let's just say he didn't go on a rant, right? And he kicked them out, right? The girls would have got on Snapchat, whatever the fuck social media platform they got, and would have went on a rant and probably would have submitted it to World Star. Or they would have done some other shit like fuck up the place or whatever, right? But that wouldn't have been as big as the fucking rant that dude went on. I'm just saying, it just wouldn't. That's what it is.
At the end of the day, he better be doing it for the culture when it comes to the kitchen, because next time I'm in Dallas, I definitely want to try some true kitchen, and it better be tasting delicious, because the publicity worked. I'm going to come try it out. I ain't going to lie. It worked. It worked for me. You going to do that. I'm not doing none of that. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on with the next topic. Week 13 of the NFL recap. Of course, if you check out the Sports Plug with X Williams and Ishmael, you'll see that we did our Week 13 recap. And if you want to check that out, you can go ahead and do that on the Sports Plug. But for right now, we want to go ahead and get everybody else's input on how everything is going for their teams and how everything is looking for the NFL season at the moment, Week 13. Napoleon, let's go ahead and start off with you. You're a Cowboys fan. Let's go ahead and talk about that Tuesday night football game that took place against the Ravens.
We took an L. 34-17. What the fuck else needs to be said? Cowboys playing like doo-doo. Moving on.
So at the moment, you guys are last in the NFC East. We usually like to call them the NFC least at the moment. And for y'all to have a new coach, a new system, a new everything, y'all brought back a lot of talent. We expected y'all to be able to perform this year, right?
I mean, yeah, that was the expectation. The expectation is always to perform. We always have the weapons. We always have the strength of numbers, but niggas ain't doing what they need to do. Whether it's the play calling, whether it's the coaching, whether it's the team cohesion, whether it's people running routes, people catching balls, people paying attention to the field, to other whatever it is, they're not doing it. They're not doing it consistently, or else they wouldn't be 3-9.
Alrighty. Well, you guys are used to being, mediocre anyway. So, this is
at best.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't anything new for you guys, but with all of the, expectations again coming into this season, unfortunately, you guys lose Dak a little bit earlier in the season with a broken ankle, and at the moment, it seems like some guys are coming back, healthy, but you guys just. It doesn't seem like you guys will be able to make that push to be able to try to win this division. Division is still there. I mean, it's still wide open. You only get back by 2 games with 4 games left. It's not over with, but it just doesn't seem like you guys will be able to actually come together to try to win this division.
Yeah, man. I don't know how much. I don't know, what really goes on as far as their personal lives and things of that sort. But it doesn't really seem like they're in it this season. I don't know. Maybe they have a losing spirit this season and they're just over it. But I like you said, I don't see them making that push right now. It's just
losing spirit. That's not a good look.
It's not. It's horrible.
It's not. All right, let's go ahead and get to Greg's team right quick. The Houston Texans. Unfortunately, they had a little heartbreaking loss. We're not going to get too much into that. We're not going to beat Deshaun Watson while he's down. But let's talk about some of the positives, at least, that you saw in that game, Greg, moving forward with this Texans team.
They could have won the game. They really could have. Unfortunately, they find most unorthodox ways of fucking losing the game. It's getting to a point where it's kind of getting traumatizing. So if anybody out there knows some therapists, let me know. I'm open for therapy because the Texans, they're fucking up my mental health. They do it every week. So that's one thing. I want to bring up something because I watch the Sports Plug. Everybody
What's
out there,
up?
please subscribe to the Sports Plug. This nigga Ishmael Sirion said that Jim Harbaugh wouldn't be a good fit for the Texans. It's been bothering me for I don't know how long, but since the episode, I watched the episode. So yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh will be the best coach we ever had, which is not saying a whole lot, but I think it would be a great fit for the Texans.
No, I stand by it. I don't want Jim Harbaugh. I want Eric Bieniemy.
Well, we're probably not gonna get him, so I'm just trying to be a little bit more open-minded on our coaching search.
Why you say they're not gonna get him?
He shouldn't go to the Texans.
I would take if they don't get Eric Bieniemy, I'd even take Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh, yes. Robert Saleh.
From San Francisco before I would take
defensive coordinator from San Francisco, yes, sir.
And let me give you a suggestion. Worry about your Chiefs, don't worry about the Texans, to be quite honest with you.
Oh,
hey,
let them know. Let them know, Greg.
I can worry about winning some championships all day. You know.
I will say this though. If you haven't heard, the Texans organization have assembled an awesome crew to help pick out the next general manager and head coach with Tony Dungy and Andre Johnson and also Jimmy Johnson. I really don't understand why Jimmy Johnson is a part of this and Tony Dungy, but apparently Cal McNair needs some help trying to figure out who's going to lead this Texans organization moving forward. They have the right pieces, but we have to wait and see who they actually pick moving forward, because you have a guy like Deshaun Watson where he's very thirsty to win now, and J.J. Watt, he's pretty much on the tail end. So it's either you can try to win now, or you pretty much are playing for the next year or two, and you're going to have to pretty much start all over again, right? So moving forward, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Houston Texans do with this whole organization.
And it's sad because, going back to being a Texas fan, I know X brought this up in one of his statuses he put on Facebook. Deshaun Watson is having a career year.
He does every damn year, apparently, it seems like.
But you said on the status, but you also went more in depth with it on the Sports Plug episode where you was talking about he should be up for the MVP conversation.
Yes.
Will he win it? No, because we all
won't.
know we're not going to go into how the MVP works. We all know that's clear as day. But he's having a career year and he's doing it. It's pretty much going on notice because the Texans fucking ass. So, and if the Texans didn't have Deshaun Watson, like you said on Sports Plug episode, we'll probably only have one game.
Maybe one or two. Yeah, one or two. Yeah.
I say one. So.
Yeah. But other than that, Brett, I know you don't have a favorite team. Was there a game out here that either a game or a team that's out here that surprises you? Please do not beat around the bush. We only have 13 minutes left to go in this episode. So please, and within 15 seconds, can you please give us a team or a game that surprised you and said, "Wow, that I wasn't expecting that."
Yes, I can, sir. Yes, I can. I would say the Patriots game.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you talk about your Titans, but
don't need to, but continue.
Like the Patriots game, I would say surprised me only to the fact that they shut them out. I expected the Patriots to win, but I didn't think that they would be that dominant in it. And then for them to score 45 points, because they haven't really been scoring that much this year. So to see them score 45, like when I saw the final score, I was like,
well, let's remember 2 of those touchdowns did come off of special teams.
Yeah.
So that was a all 3 phases type of game that the Patriots won. Of course, you got a field goal. You got 3 points from the field goal. So it wasn't all on Cam. Cam's stats didn't look pretty at all. But at the end of the day, the 45-0, that makes the locker room feel so much better than it being a 27-0 win with Cam Newton doing everything. When everybody has plays a part in the victory, especially in an ass whooping like this. It makes the whole locker room feel the type of way moving forward. Yeah,
Indeed.
all right.
Indeed.
Alrighty then. I guess the games that nobody else really talked about that I will right quick. I mean, the Washington football team versus the Steelers, and also the G-Man versus the Seahawks. Those are two games to me that I'm still kind of raising my eyebrows with, because at the end of the day, like me and Isha talked about, we could talk about Patrick Mahomes, we could talk about Aaron Rodgers, we can talk about Tom Brady all we want to, but for a guy like Alex Smith to do what he does for the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, and what he's done for the last couple of years of his career, being able to be the ultimate professional, you have to tip your hat off to what Alex Smith has done, especially for the Washington football team. And like I stated in the Sports Plug episode, if he's not comeback player of the year, I mean, nobody should ever win comeback player of the year anymore, because he has defied all odds, and he's somebody that needs to be looked upon as this is what also makes you a great professional athlete. Sometimes you're not able to win 6 championships, 6 Super Bowls like Tom Brady, but because of you coming in to work and do what you're able to do, Alex Smith was able to provide for the rest of the family for the next generation upon generation, right? Because of his sacrifices. So I just want to tip my hat off to Alex Smith, and shout out to everything that he's able to do last on Monday and these next upcoming weeks. Because who knows? Maybe the Washington football team could pull off this remarkable divisional upset against these bum ass Cowboys that the Napoleon Robichaux call a football team.
I mean, they are a professional football team for the
Barely.
football league. But it's unfortunate at the level of competitive football playing we've been playing this year and the last 10 years.
Yeah, the last 25 years.
It's also surprising to me that the Rams beat the Cardinals.
Well, if you check out the Sports Plug, it wouldn't be surprising you, because the LA Rams are supposed to make it to the NFC Championship game.
It's
we'll see.
still less surprising that they beat them in Arizona. I will say. I mean, I don't know. I said it earlier that the Bills were my sleeper team this year, but they're not sleeping on. I mean, nobody's sleeping on them anymore. I say that. I know. Do you guys think out of that class? I'm not sure if you guys have talked about this, but out of that class, do you guys think Josh Allen is the best one?
We have talked about that, and at the moment, you have to say Lamar because he has won the MVP. But right behind him, it would be Josh Allen. Right behind him would be Baker Mayfield.
So do you think that? Okay, so overall skill set, are you taking Lamar over Josh Allen?
No.
So that's why when I say,
I'm sorry, Chad.
So when you say that you had to say Lamar over Josh because he won the MVP, I would almost disagree with that.
I mean, career-wise, Lamar
Thank you.
right now,
yeah,
put him in front of Josh Allen.
You have to.
What has Josh Allen done?
You can't just throw away his MVP because you don't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like his MVP.
I mean, that's pretty much what you're stating.
I never said I didn't like his MVP. I'm asking.
So how the hell Josh Allen will get put in front of Lamar Jackson and he hasn't done anything yet?
Okay, who are you choosing right now? Is what I'm saying.
Who are you choosing? Like, if you got an organization?
These are two different questions that you're asking, Brett.
No, the first question I asked is who
do you have ranked top out of the class?
Yes,
right?
rank them out of the class.
Yes.
Yeah, out of the class right now, based on their career, you would put Lamar Jackson at the top because he's the only one that has won something.
Yeah.
By default, you got to put him at the top.
Lamar didn't win a playoff game. Josh Allen didn't win a playoff game, but he's won MVP. So at the moment, right now, when we go into this playoffs, we'll see. But At right now, this moment, Lamar, Josh Allen.
You can put Josh Allen in front of Lamar Jackson right now. I mean, if you're talking about like if you're rating their careers, there's no way you can put Josh Allen in front of Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
If you're saying
yes,
if the draft class should be reordered based off of what we know now, then sure, Josh Allen should all day. Even though with Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen.
I agree.
And so that was more so my question when I asked that. Like who are you taking now? Like not obviously, yes, Lamar has the MVP. Yes. But when I'm asking like who do you think is better? Like that's what I'm asking. Who would you take right now?
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Oh, that's all you got for us, Brett?
I was asking a question.
I'm just making sure you're good before we move on to the next topic. That's all. Alrighty then. Another surprise for us besides how the Buffalo Bills are playing this season. Apparently, Money Mayweather is coming out of retirement for an exhibition match against is it Ryan Paul? Is it what's the Paul? Was it Logan? No, Jake Paul. There we go. Not Jake Paul, but Logan Paul, the brother of Jake Paul, the YouTuber that fought Nate Robinson a couple weeks ago on the undercard of Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson. Apparently, Mayweather is fighting a guy that has no real resume when it comes to boxing. So I'm just gonna say this straight up, and I'm gonna go ahead and end it with this. But if you go ahead and pay for this, you are an idiot, and I don't feel bad for you. Go ahead and waste your money. And I don't know why we are making a mockery out of boxing, but apparently that's what we're doing, and this is stupid. And I am done. Go ahead and go on what you want to say.
I mean, is there anything that needs to be added to this? Like, I don't understand how this even came about, other than obviously it's a money ploy. I mean, I can see what Mitchell's saying, but to be honest, since it's an exhibition, I don't even really think Floyd going out there like that.
I don't like it either, Chad. I think it's stupid. Shout out to Mitch Bennett.
I don't care if it's Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Chris Paul, Paul Wall.
Yeah.
And they boxing Mayweather. I'm not watching it.
No, we're going to watch it. No, we're going to act like we ain't going to watch it. No, we're going to watch it the same way we watch Nate Robinson crap. We're going to watch it. I'm just going to pay for that.
I didn't watch it. I caught the highlights on Institute.
Yeah, I watched the highlights too. I'm just saying we're gonna watch. The point of what I'm saying, we're gonna find a way to see the highlight. We're gonna find a way to it's gonna be in our faces. That's all. We might not watch it second after second. My bad. We might not watch it like that, but I'm saying we're gonna find a way to watch it. Why everything gotta be paused to you, Greg? Stop thinking gay. That's your fault.
Everything. That's my first time saying it.
It's your second time, gay boy.
That's not everything. Fucking ding.
I mean, this is bad. To me, this is what boxing has come to. Boxing is a dying sport.
Yeah,
and
don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
What do you mean? Don't be disrespectful. It's facts.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It is though. If you out here, if this is the biggest match for next year upcoming, this is sad.
How are we being disrespectful? MMA and boxing, your number one fighters that the world want to fucking see don't want to take fights because they're fucking ego and they're fucking big-headed money fucking hungry.
Now, hold up. I got a question. Are we going to blame the boxers or are we going to blame the promoters? Because at the end of the day, the same way it is in any other sport, you could be mad at the athletes. But at the end of the day, the owners in any sport have way more money than these athletes, and these owners do not. The owners do not get held accountable. That's all I'm saying.
That was one of the reasons why I said we're not doing that, y'all. I mean, it's a collaborative effort as to why boxing is so dying or whatever. So
what's the collaborative effort? Please explain that to me.
The boxers, owners, the promoters, all that shit.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to say I blame them all because
that's literally what collaborative is, right? It's
because Floyd, honestly, if Floyd wanted to even do an exhibition match, he could choose whoever he wanted to do an exhibition match against. Why does it have to be against Logan Paul?
Paul, fuck out.
From what I've read, apparently Mayweather is getting an upfront $2 million plus 5% of pay-per-view sales. Oh, yeah. Logan Paul is getting an upfront 200,000 plus 5% of pay-per-view sales as well. So
pocket change for Floyd. Floyd got
pocket change. $2 million is pocket change. Yeah.
So
I said for Floyd. We said for Floyd.
Unfortunately, we might have to see that go down. That will take place February 20th, 2021. We will see you guys next week on Hump Day at 9:30 p.m. And hopefully we won't have to talk about another Mayweather matchup against some bum. So
that shit, nigga.
See you guys next week on Kinfolk and Them.
Don't drop that cake.
All